For the past 3 days, I didn't have a voice. I didn't have a voice. For the past 3 days, I was struggling to talk, to scream, to shout. And my son yesterday said, "You shout too much. You scream too much." Sometimes we don't realize, hey, and my son is trying to tell me no. Because I was like frustrated, and even if I didn't have a voice, I was still shouting like, "How is it that you guys, I have to wake up and I still have to tell you what to do?" And that's, you know, that feeling. That is how I was yesterday. And my son was like, "Calm down, you scream too much." Let's grab some coffee. Good morning. So, the video just saw, my son just surprised me this morning. He's 12. And the reason why I took that video is that, you know how you wake up, as mothers, I think you can relate. Like when you wake up and you actually look around and you're like, it's like, today I'm not doing much of a work in this house. Or you go to bed and you wake up thinking, oh, you know what? I have to quickly wake up. I have to do this, I have to do that. And then boom, you wake up, you're coming to your kitchen and it's sparkling clean. You're looking everywhere like it's really clean. And you're like, so I'm not busy this morning. So, to my mothers out there, let's keep instilling knowledge, training in our kids. So guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pam and I'm a mom of 3. Currently, we live in Canada and I am a Zimbabwean and my husband is Nigerian. So, I just wanted us to talk about this because what my son did, it just motivated me to talk about what we as mothers go through, and especially when we have migrated, we've relocated to other countries where they have different rules of how to even raise your kids, how you should talk to your kids, how you should raise your kids, and all that. And like, I feel like many of us, we feel the same way, okay? Especially when we think that we have a lower hand in leading our kids or in training our kids, and some people have the upper hand of doing so, you know. I think people who are abroad like Canada or US or in Europe or UK, they understand me much better, that there are some rules that are set up maybe at school where these kids are given upper hand in the home. So like, you as a parent, you feel like you don't have much. So first of all, guys, so I think I'm going to do things differently. But back home in Africa, we say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, here, you are on your own. Here, you are on your own. That is why I'm like so proud of my kids, so proud of my son, because it's showing that whatever me and his dad always talk to him about, he's listening. Even if he sometimes may not do it that same time, or we think as adults that he is not doing it or he's not going to do it, they're actually listening. So it's really important how we talk to our child, how we train our child, and to be patient with them as well, because at the end of the day, when we are talking to our kids, it doesn't matter the age. We want them to have the reasoning that we have, our own reasoning, our own age capacity. We are in our 30s, in our 40s, our 50s, and we want our kids who are like 5, 10 to reason like us as adults, and which is the wrong thing to do, to like think like us, but it's wrong thing. And we need to like start thinking and put ourselves in their shoes, knowing that okay, I have to lower down my expectations, I have to lower down myself to their age, to their understanding, to their capacity of their understanding. We have been here on the earth for a whole lot time than them. We have a lot of experience, and so when we are talking to them, it's as if we just want them to like quickly change, quickly do things in our own capacity. It's as if like you expect, let's say you are driving and you see a new driver, right? You have been a driver for like 20 years, 10 years, you have much experience, and then you expect someone who just got a license 2 weeks ago, they are driving on the road and they do some mistakes, or they are slow, or they are doing something that can irritate you, and you start shouting like, oh, these people, they don't know how to drive, right? It happens. But you have to understand that you were also in the same shoe that this person is. So it's the same thing that we expect these drivers to do so well. As soon as they get their driver's license, they should be on their own game. They should do their best. They should be in your level of driving, of which is never going to happen. So we need those drivers. We need to be patient. And so that's the same thing. We have been parents. We are parents. And the way we were brought up is like, for you to listen, you need you know what I mean? You are not listening, you need in our African homes, we don't understand what it means to just talk to a child. Train a child in a very calm way, because where we come from, it's shouting, it's screaming, it's this, it's that, and we grow up and we start doing that to our own kids, and which is something that I feel like we really need to change, right? I just feel like that. I don't know. So another thing as well is that, like I said before, back in Africa, it takes a village to raise a child. So in Africa, your neighbor can discipline your child. Anyone on the street can discipline your child. You are in school, you are not worried about your child. The teachers will do their job. And even if a child comes to you and report and say, oh, my teacher did this, oh, we discipline the child on top of it, right? It's very rare that we go back, as long as we know that whatever they were disciplined for, maybe they didn't finish their homework, maybe they didn't do something, they got a punishment. It's not something that we go and start asking, why did you punish my child? My child just came and told me, or you disciplined him, or you disciplined her because of this or that. No, we tell the child that, yeah, if you didn't do that, if you didn't do your homework, if you didn't listen in the class, if you're making noise, that teacher has the right to discipline you. But up here, it's a whole ball game. You see somebody, you as a parent. So I know that in Africa there are some families who can afford a domestic help, but remember, the majority of families, they can't afford a domestic help. The household I grew up in, we didn't even have like extra change to pay for a domestic help. So like, we were trained from early age that you need to do this. You need to know how to clean, how to sweep, how to wash, how to do everything, clean windows, whatever. And I think if I did not have that foundation in me, instilled in me, I'll be like a very lazy wife at my age. Because here we don't have any help. Okay? We don't have any help. If you need to pay someone, let's say, to come and just clean your house, they will be charging you per hour, and it's not like every day they have to come. I think for people who like can afford, I don't know if they do it every day or they just do it like 3 times in a week or 2 times in a week, but you pay per hour. Some people, they charge up to $60 just an hour to come and clean your house, and depending on how many rooms or this or that, they'll do your laundry, they'll do, like, you talk to them. Some are companies that just come to clean your house. So what I'm trying to say is, for my immigrants families, if you are coming here to abroad, it doesn't matter where you are going to, please don't forget to instill all this foundation that we've been doing from back home, because they are gonna need it. You don't want your child to grow up knowing that, oh, the only thing we do here is to buy food that is already cooked inside box, and what we do is take the food, put it inside the microwave and warm it up, or we cook it up. You don't want your child to like not know how that, oh, when I finish eating, I have to wash my dishes. Because as I am here, I do have a dishwasher, but trust me, my kids have to know how to use their hands to wash plates first before putting inside dishwasher. And even me, I do it as well. And it's part of a foundation, even if the dishwasher is going to help, but you still need to know the foundation. What if they grow up and they start renting on their own, and it's not like every apartment there's a dishwasher? Then what are they going to do? So you need to really think ahead. Because I have a dishwasher or because I have a vacuum, I'm not just going to say, oh, my child should just know that it's a vacuum you need to use, or it's just a dishwasher you need to use. There are other ways you can use. You have alternatives, and this alternatives is what trained us when we were growing up, and this is what we need, especially in this part of generation, especially if you are in this part of the world. You need to teach your children that. And then we have an issue whereby back home, I know some people will be like, oh, you know, kitchen is not for men, or men are not supposed to do women's work. There are some families who are that. I think you guys, we need to stop this. It starts with us. Even if your parents maybe used to do that and say, oh, your brothers can't do any work inside the kitchen or inside the house, it's a woman's job. In my family, there was nothing like that. There's no boy, there's no girl. Okay, anybody has to do it. Anybody, even if it's to sweep outside the yard, boys will do it. Even if it's inside, we have duties that today you are the one who's washing the place. Today you are the one who is cleaning the floor. Today you are the one who is kneeling down to clean the floor. All of that, it was part of training. And right now we have those husbands who know how to cook in the kitchen because they were trained from the beginning, from their childhood. They were trained. So you just need your own children also to be self-sufficient when they grow up, self-reliable. Not that they'll end up starting to order food online because they don't know how to boil an egg. They don't know the simple thing of how to make food. Don't be chasing your kids, even if it's boys, from the kitchen. Don't leave. Hey, go and sit down. No. Invite them. They should come. They should learn. Tomorrow they are not going to be the worst husbands ever who don't even know anything about house chores. They are not going to be those men who can't even do their laundry, who can't even clean where they have messed up, you have to pick up on everything that they have done. They mess up this, you go and clean up after them because that's how they've been trained. I always want to tell myself that for my kids, I have 2 sons, and I don't want my kids, when they get married, for their wives to start complaining that you never got training. No, I'm going to do my best. The father is going to do his best to make sure that tomorrow they are not going to, mess things or just put our names in the mud. I want some people outside to appreciate them and say, wow, your child can do this. And I had this client the other day because I also make hair from home, and my son was 8 by then. And I was telling my son to go and remove clothes from the laundry and put new clothes to wash. And this lady looked at her daughter. Her daughter is 14. She looked at her daughter, and these are not like our skin, right? So she looks at her daughter and she's like, did you hear that? And so me, I'm confused, what are they talking about, right? And then I'm like, what's happening? She's like, how old is your son? I said, he's 8. He said, did you hear that? And I'm like, why are you asking her? And he's like, she can't even boil water. Yeah. So I started talking to have a conversation with this girl, and in a joking way, I was like, you don't know how to boil water? She's like, no. And she was busy on her phone. And I'm like, oh, but why? She's like, I don't know. And then I was like, well, you need to learn all these things because when you grow up, you get married and you need to know how to do it. Even if you're not going to get married, you are going to live on your own and you still need to do all these things. And she's like, I'll just order food. I don't need to cook, Or if I get married, my husband will do everything. And then in my mind, I'm like, oh, your husband will do everything. So my son that I'm busy training, at the end of the day is going to marry this kind of girl, oh my goodness, it's not gonna happen. But guys, yeah, that's it. There are some parents who just don't know. I don't know, they just don't know, or they are scared, or they are brought up also not knowing how to train their kids because they are also not trained. So I just want to like take this opportunity to encourage all parents, all mothers, all fathers who are coming from Africa, who are Africans and who are here abroad. Please, let's continue to instill a strong foundation of responsibility and self-reliance in our kids, because house chores is not just a game. These children can also balance. It doesn't mean that if they start doing house chores, then they will not have any balance with their schoolwork. They have a balance. We had a balance growing up. There's a time that you know that from school we come, we remove our socks, we wash our socks, we clean our shoes, we wash our uniforms. That is a house chore that we are trained. And then after that, we eat and then we start doing our homework. So that balance was there. And you still have that balance now. It's not every time a child wake up and they're on their phones. You still need a balance of saying, okay, there is no games today. There is no remote for TV today. This is what you are going to do today. And train your kids that they will not find this odd. They will know that if my mom or my dad finds me with the remote today, they should know. With just your eyes, they should know that I can be in trouble, you know. So we need to put that in our minds that whatever we are raising right now, let our generation of kids not be the ones that people will laugh at. That day that we go back to Africa and then our kids can't do anything, it's gonna be embarrassing for us, not for the kids, but for us. Oh, your child cannot wash plates because who has a dishwasher back home? You know, we don't do that. Even if some people do, how many, right? Yeah, it's our hands that we use. Your child cannot cook rice. Your child cannot cook spaghetti. Your child cannot do this. You know, we don't want to be the embarrassment for tomorrow. So live with the thought for today that please, let's try our best as mothers, as fathers here in abroad. Let's instill our children with the best knowledge that we can, whether it's spiritual, whether it's, you know, house chores, everything. We just need to do our best so that our children tomorrow, they don't end up useless like other children that we see here. So I hope my voice was not irritating for you, but I am so sure that by tomorrow I'll be able to speak very well, and my audios or my voiceovers or my videos will have a clean voice. But I just it was just a nugget, and I thought, let me just, you know, talk to you about it while I'm still fresh with the thoughts. So thanks for watching, guys. You are doing well. You are actually doing well. Don't stop. Don't get tired. Continue. Be patient. You know, every day talk to your child. Train your child. And I have learned something. I'm not going to be shouting anymore. I'm not going to be screaming anymore because I'll lose my voice. It's just a joke. I know it's because it's cold and winter is here. But some kids, they just need us to talk to them very well and just be in their shoes. They are not adults, they are kids. Let us let them be kids, and let us go down to their level so that they can understand any message we want to relate to them. And they will listen. They will listen.